Hello out there in YouTube land, welcome to the OKGoodReview channel. And today, this is kind of strange, huh? Right? We have a completed car and some Jada minifigs. So what am I doing? Obviously I'm not building the car, and of course if you clicked on the title you already know what I'm doing. But so I found this stuff finally. Ever since, there's a person on Twitter that goes by different names, but that person did a project using this, and the chrome that they did, it just came out spectacularly. And so when I asked what it was, this is what the answer was. And so I've been trying to get it for a while, and the problem with this is that it does have some degree of solvency to it. So trying to get this through Amazon, for instance, is very difficult. So I finally found it at a hobby shop, and of course now we'll get into that in a second. But right now, this seemed like a good time for this project because A, I have it, and B, we're right in the middle of the COVID-19, so we need to do some projects to while we have the opportunity for it. This could be a really trepidatious time, but it also could be a time of opportunity. So anyway, this has UV resistance. That's actually one of the parts of, like, if you get chrome vinyl, for instance, or chrome polyester, that's one of the big problems with them, is that they will tend to discolor in the sun. Is that going to matter? No, because guys, 20 years, woo baby, look at that. So these don't go see the light of day anyway. So all right, so the preceding video that you guys saw for this week was this, which was the 56 Nomad that was customized a bit. So it looks like you need to re-glue some things on this while I'm at it. It took a plunge, guys, a while ago, and some of the parts came off it. But so this thing has been staring at me all winter, and you can see I had some issues with the paint, and by the time I got around to trying to do the trim, I was kind of in that tunnel vision where you just want it to be over. So the trim has been bothering me all winter because it's not a very good job on the trim. The car itself is fine. The trim, and a lot of times we use silver, so you can see this is all using silver for the moldings, but I would really prefer it be chrome. So I'm going to go and try to fix this. That's why you see this now, because I'm going to be going through and trying to actually fix this. So this has just been sitting there, though, like I said, with Batwoman, the Jada minifigs of Batwoman, one of my all-time favorite characters. And let me pull in some detail in here. So this was really designed as a platform for her and for the Jada minifigs of Batman Beyond to hang out on. So that's the project here. We're going to both test out this pen, and we're going to re-glue this, and we're going to try to fix all the trim on the Nomad. Okay guys, so we're down here. We've got Batman and Batwoman over there looking on, and I was just going through and touching. So I was saying before I remembered that my camera wasn't on, I was saying that I had used the Tester's red metal flake on this, and the shop was out of it when I went there to get more. So I'm trying to use tail turn signal red from Model Masters to touch a little bit of these spots of red that got a little slopped out. So I touched up the other side already a bit, and you can see I've got some white out there on the mirrors and the door handle. I fixed some of the whiting out on the windshield wipers already, right there, and on this. And also there's a section here, guys, so if you can see this bumper right there, there's a white out spot on there. You can see as I turn this, you can't pick it out. In fact, you would not be able to pick it out unless I specifically and deliberately told you where that actually was. So I will say this, I think this is overall working pretty well, this chrome. It definitely looks like chrome. So you can do chrome repairs with it pretty readily. And just straighten that line just a touch. Just a skosh. And let's see here if there's anything else that we can hit with the red while we have it. So part of this is I just need to hit a little bit of slop. Like I was saying, I had the end inside, I guess, really, when I was doing this before, and that's not a great way of approaching this when you're doing painting, and definitely it was 100% my fault, lest anyone think otherwise. So, and of course, probably a lot of you are already saying that to yourselves, and you'd be right. You would be right. All right, so the red touch-up is done. I am going to wait for this to dry a little bit before I try to do the moldings, but I did want to show you here. Let's see if we can find some spots here that we can just touch here. So this windshield wiper over here, let's see if we can. Yeah, it comes out so nicely. I think I might need to, do I need to blow you guys up a little bit here? Let's try this. So I'm trying to figure out how to film this, but also not to interfere with what I'm doing, so that I can actually do it. So, okay. So really touching up chrome when you've had glue errors and so on is pretty easy with this pen. I do like this quite a lot. It's hard. It says this is a fairly hard nib. It's really hard to hold it in place and move it. But you can also see it's chroming out. So we're gonna be able to. Who knows? This video might just be me more testing the chrome than anything else. But so we're gonna wait right now to wait for that to dry. And I'm keeping the red out because obviously I'm going to do some more retouches. But we'll leave that out for now and see if we can't get this looking a little bit better. So we're going to come back, see another spot of red I need to fix. So I need to fix this one I just did. And I need to fix over here. Or maybe I just need to put more chrome. Guys, we'll take a look at this and get back to it here. I did choose the 1mm. And I want it as small as possible, and I think in some ways that's helping, in some ways it isn't. But this definitely works better to fix chrome so far to this point than it does to paint like moldings and stuff. But maybe as I get into it a little bit more, because I literally just opened it slightly before I started this video. And I've never used one of these before, so I'm really unfamiliar with the operation, but we're going to give this some time to dry, and we'll come back and see what other kind of magic we can get worked. Alright guys, so this stuff is not the easiest thing in the world to work with. In fact, you can see I had to basically go onto the paint and then come back to it to get it to work at all. It's a very pretty chrome. It's a great chrome actually. It's just a pain to try to use it. You can see right here. So we're going to have an effect basically with this when I'm done with this that is going to be both, like the chrome is peeling off and leaving the silver behind, which is going to look, I think, kind of cool. So that's kind of where I've decided to try to point this now. This, so the Molotow chrome is a really good chrome, and it's going to be great for things like exhaust tips and me going back and fixing where the glue has whited it out. On these molding lines, it's honestly a pain because it's so hard. It will slip off of stuff because you have to give it a certain degree of pressure in order to actually pump it through the thing. And it's hard to find a balance where you can give it enough pressure to get the chrome to flow and not too much pressure so that it slides off of the molding. And that's a number of the errors that actually you see right before you, is where I was pressing too hard trying to get that to go, and it just slid right off of there. So what we'll have to do now is go back and fix all of the red again. So when this dries, we'll go back and do that, and we'll see what the final result looks like. Again, this is not the correct red, but it's close enough for what I'm doing. There's enough errors on this that I'm not able to fix every single thing that's wrong on this particular car. So I'm just really going to try. I'm just at this point just trying for some improvement. So and there the chrome is definitely improving on this. And even though it looks a little funky from this angle, just because you can see there's two different chromes. So you look at this, it looks like but then you bring it up and it looks okay. So I just need to go back and clean up all of the spots where it's extended onto the body a little bit too much. And I might need to re-chrome a couple spots on here. But for the most part, I mean, it definitely is helping to overall improve this. So that's kind of what we were going for. So, all right, so we have a little more red touch-up to go, and we'll come back and we'll look at the final look of the car and final thoughts on the Molotow chrome. Okay, guys, so here we are at the end. I took the hood off to do some of that stuff, so I think we'll just throw it back on real quick right there, so we can get Batman Beyond and Batwoman back to their regular scheduled hangout. And put those over there. So we'll get to, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in the very near future, but so passenger side had a lot of problems, and you guys can see that it is, I added some lines here, didn't do a super great job here on the back, but I have ordered some of the actual metal flake, because as you can see here, we have some discontinuity here in the actual red colors, and you can see in the right light it looks trashy. So let's take a look. So this is the display side here. This is the side that I use to actually display stuff. So this side came out quite a bit better, except for all this garbage here in the red. Again, you know, you put it back here and you really can't pick it out, but definitely the chrome lines are quite a bit better, although I'm not sure how much of that I'm actually going to be able to fix, to be honest with you. But I added the chrome here for the bottom trim of this window, and I mean, it's improved. It's improved a lot from this. So from the start of the video to now is considerably different. It's quite a bit better now, which is really all I was trying to get out of it. All the chrome where I had glue issues is repaired. This thing, I think it's largely a matter of me getting used to it, because if you don't give it a good press, you can't get any kind of flow out of it. And in one instance, I pressed it actually too hard on the window on the other side, and it just puked chrome everywhere. So this one, trying to find that balance was really difficult for me to get into right out of the gate. So I definitely have a lot more practice I need to do with this. But I'm super excited about this because I can take this and I can repair stuff. Like the actual repairs where I'm doing chrome on chrome repairs are super easy with this. It's just adding color to this. So what I might do in the future is actually add color, the chrome, to the molding parts that I want before I actually start gluing stuff on. That definitely would have been very helpful on the windshield. There's no point in me trying to even chrome it at this point. I don't know that I would, and I'm not sure. Actually, I kind of wanted the front to be the actual color, in the back as well. That's why I left those alone. But doing the side where this window is, for instance, would have been a lot easier if I would have just chromed it beforehand. But I couldn't find this thing. I've been looking for this for maybe not quite a year. I mean, I've been looking for this stupid pen for a while. And it's expensive. This thing is like $12-13 at the hobby store. So hopefully there's a good amount in there. I am debating buying a larger one of these and then just cutting the end off so I can actually use a brush as well. Because like I said, this nib, I think I might have cut that part out of the footage, but the nib on this is super hard. So you really got to find the balance here if you're going to do intricate work in particular. And this is the smallest one I believe they make. This is the 1mm. So it's got, I mean, as far as reviewing this thing is a great chrome. It is a super easily the best chrome I've ever seen on the market, far and away. And when you use it for repairs, like I said over here, you cannot tell where the actual line is on that bumper that I repaired. You can't tell where it is. And that is just, to me, there's so many little chrome pieces on so many other models that I now want to go back and fix. Transformers. There's transformers I wanted to add chrome to in certain areas. Now I can. And this stuff, as far as that goes, is just, as far as a visual chrome, it is superb. It is every bit the same as any of the other chromes out there. So for that, it's well worth the money. The applicator part of it, there's a curve. There is an absolute learning curve to this. I mean, there kind of is a lot too with brush work and airbrush work and so on and so forth too. Aerosol work, paint gun work, anything with that, even, you know, markers and pencils, there is a bit of a curve to that as well. I don't know where this curve is as far as the other ones. I mean, I'm obviously more used to a brush. But with this one, I can see where this is going. I can see what I want to see with this. So I am still going to be continuing on with all the future builds. This is now a very, I guess the biggest statement I can make about this is part of my arsenal now. This is part of my kit. And I might do a follow-up video towards the end of this year with some of the other tools that I've added as well. But yeah, this thing is just, it's by far the best. So now I've got to use up a whole bunch of silvers. I've got to use up a whole bunch of silvers and get rid of those. And part of what I'm doing is I'm also trying to convert over to Tamiya. I've understood that Model Masters has been discontinued by Rust-Oleum, who owns Testers, which is a shame if that is the case. But so I'm in the process of converting everything over to Tamiya anyway, because they're just so much easier to use, I think, than either the Testers metals. I do like a lot. Actually, I'm going to keep those, probably the flat steel in particular. I probably will continue with those. I do like how those lay down. I don't honestly like any of the Model Master stuff enough to want to be able to preserve it. So I've started to slowly convert that over anyway. I don't like the bottles. I really, there's not a lot that I find favorable with those, although they do have some very specific colors. I do like their Chrysler engine red, so I did get another bottle of that. Maybe there will be no more of that ever again, and I'll have to find one at some point in the future. But for now, I've got that, and that's the standard red I use for everybody's engine, unless I'm trying to do a theme thing. So I've got a build for a Firebird where it's a blue engine, and I'm going to do another Firebird with a blue engine as well. Just because that Firebird was so far away from what I had in mind, the way it turned out. I have done an orange one for a different Firebird, and guys, you can check those all out in the model playlist. So as for this car, that Molotow chrome aside, when I was model building years and years and years ago, when I was doing it regularly the first time, I had a couple vehicles that I kept around, and all I did on those was just play around with different techniques and stuff. With this one, I think that's what this car is actually going to become. It's so bordery, it's so customized for the rims and for everything else that, I'm going to actually try to hand paint the metal flake over the top of this, which I don't know how well that's actually going to work. So it's going to be really interesting experimenting with that. Just this traffic light red didn't work out the way I wanted. I think I probably should have thinned it. Typically, I don't keep that thin because it's a transparent color, and if you don't have some density to it, you can't see it at all. That actually is another one. That's a Model Masters color. That is going to be replaced as well too as soon as I run out of it. But just that kind of bothers me that, it's like I fixed one problem and now I've sort of gotten another one, and I think I am going to actually sand out some of that stuff as well. Like if you look at this, the paint job and so on the roof, like it'd be really, really hard to sand this out to get a uniform color. This one I did want it to have a bit of a distressed look anyway. That's why I left some of the moldings where it looks like you've actually got chrome that's peeling off. So you've got the underbase, sort of a faded silver underbase on a lot of this. I left that in a lot of spots just because I kind of actually like that look. I really meant this to be a faded red. That was really kind of the color I was thinking of, but I also really wanted to use the red metal flake because I'm a sucker for metal flake. And so my penchant for glittery paints kind of won out here, but I think it's going to be kind of interesting to be able to sand it out and do some of the other stuff to it and just see what effect I get from that. That I am kind of excited about. When you looked at the box, like when you watched the video, you can see that it was meant to be a two-tone look. I kind of did away with that, and I don't regret that at all. But I could incorporate just a skosh of that back in here, and possibly I will. I'm not quite sure yet, but I could see this thing having multiple layers of paint, honestly, by the time I'm done. It now has, in some spots, probably 3 or 4, because I did a lot of reshoots on this too. So there's a lot going on with this Nomad already. But this might be my car, my experimental car that I kind of keep. And really, a lot there's a fine line because a lot of the flawed vehicles I love dearly. They're some of my favorite works, even if they're not picture perfect. And I know a lot of people get really bothered by that, but there's just a resonance with me in certain vehicles, even if they're not completely flawless. And a lot of them too, now that I've got this weapon, I can go back and fix a lot of stuff too and get it a lot closer to flawless. So I'm really, really pleased with this. I'm really excited about some of the stuff I'm going to be able to do. So there may be more, who knows, maybe more chrome repair videos coming up in the future as well. Anyway, for now, this is the main one that was kind of bothering me, mainly because it sits on one of my work desks and eyes me the entire time. And, you don't want these two judging you. That's all I'll say about that. But there it is, guys. There it is, finally, the rundown of a Molotow chrome pen review combined with trying to fix some of the molding on this 56 Nomad. Hopefully, you guys, you dug this video and enjoyed the look at this. If you did, please give us the old thumbs up, guys. Hit the red subscribe button if you have not done so already, guys. Blue bell next to the red subscribe button if you'd like to be notified of the latest and greatest content as it becomes available, guys, including, of course, model builds. There's so many cool things I want to build now that I don't think there's any end in sight. I really thought I would be done, honestly, at the end of this year. Space is, again, really, really problematic. I've discovered I love building planes, though, so I most likely will be doing more aircraft as well in the upcoming days. I've still got a stack of models. I've still got a stack of models. There are still cars that I want to do, guys. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for some of the other stuff. We passed 700 videos, guys, and right now it's the time of COVID as I film this, and we have got an extensive library. There's probably something for everybody. I would think at this point we've got food eating videos, we've got miniature movies where we do actual storylines. Really a lot of cool stuff, guys. So we would love it if you would check it out, subscribe and everything, guys. Also, if you follow us on our Twitter feed, over our Twitter feed, whether or not there's comments, you can certainly comment the videos there, guys. We have Twitter specific content as well, such as displays. Most of the displays that I've done in my office, a lot of the displays that the star of our channel has done, are all right there on our Twitter feed. So if you use Twitter, please come follow us there. We would certainly love to have you. Anyway, here it is, guys. The Molotow Chrome is great. If you're into serious modeling and you like the chrome look, I don't think you can be without those pens. That is a very necessary thing. If you're more casual, you can probably skip it. But it is a really, really great device and a really good tool. There is a learning curve. Keep that in mind. Anyway, guys, we will see you all next time. For Batwoman, for Batman Beyond, and for the Nomad, bye-bye.